All right, welcome to I Can Say It. Let's talk about the Yankees. Here's my question for all you Yankee fans out there. Are the Yankees done? Are they? Third place, all those games back behind Tampa. I have an even more serious question. Will the Yankees ever win a World Series again? Let's take a look. So we're 62 games into the season. The Yankees are 37 and 27 with a winning percentage of .578. Yankee fans are upset, worried that the Yankees are falling far behind the Rays and the Orioles. Currently, they're 8.5 games back on the Rays, 2 games back on the Orioles. I'm a Yankee fan, feel the exact same way. However, if you're only looking at the American League standings, it looks really bad for the Yankees. But if you take a look and compare the Yankees to the rest of the American League, there are only 3 teams with a better winning percentage. That's the Rays, the Orioles, and the Texas Rangers. Then, if you go even further and you take a look at the entire MLB, if you compare the Yankees to all the MLB teams, there are only 5 teams with better records. The 3 American League teams we already talked about, the Rays, the Orioles, and the Rangers. Also, the Atlanta Braves and the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's it. The Yankees are the 6th best team of all of baseball. Even with all the injuries, all the constant lineup shuffles that Boone does, whether you like them or not, they still manage to be the 6th best team in the MLB. As a Yankees fan, we often get so laser focused on just the Yankees that we don't really look at the rest of the league. If you only look at the American League East, you would think the Yankees are bad. The reality is they're kind of holding their own. With all the injuries and everything else going on, they're kind of holding their own. Now, don't misunderstand. I'm a lifelong Yankees fan. And I expect the Yankees to win the division and win a World Series every year. If they don't, it's a failure. As a Yankee, I'm sorry, you can say, well, that's ridiculous, but I'm a Yankees fan, that's what I expect. World Series, win the division every year. That's what I expect. And I'm having a really hard time understanding how a team like the Tampa Bay Rays and the Boston Orioles, really the Rays have consistently beat the Yankees year in, year out, over and over and over again, and they're better. The Orioles, Yankees have owned them the last few years, even this year, the Orioles are playing better than the Yankees. So explain to me how the Yankees, who have a significantly high payroll, are getting beat by the Orioles and the Rays, who have a significantly lower payroll expense. Let's take a look. The Yankees have the 2nd highest payroll in the MLB at $277 million. Only the New York Mets have a higher payroll of $353 million. The Tampa Bay Rays are the 3rd from the bottom of the list of payroll. $73 million. The Yankees' payroll is almost 4 times that of the Rays. But the Rays seem to play better and pay less. How is that even possible? Not to mention the Orioles. They're ahead of the Yankees so far this year, and they have an even lower payroll than the Rays. So my conclusion in this whole thing is that I don't believe Brian Cashman and the owner of the Yankees, Hal Steinbrenner, I don't believe they're focused on winning championships. Obviously, they'd like to win one, but I honestly believe they don't necessarily care if they win a championship or not. All they care about is, are we in contention year after year? I believe they build their team to be flashy and put on a show. The Yankees will make money. They have 27 World Series in their history. They're known throughout the world. If anybody who follows baseball knows who the Yankees are, so their brand is built. So all they care about now is keeping their brand. So they put up flashy players, Aaron Judge, Stanton, guys that hit home runs, and hit monster home runs. And as long as they keep doing that, as long as they keep being in contention for a World Series every year, they make money hand over fist, hand over fist. They are not building to win a World Series. The Tampa Bay Rays, the Baltimore Orioles, they are doing what they need to do to actually try to win a championship, and they're doing it with a significantly less payroll. The Yankees make more money by having the big flashy names, by making headlines. And then they would if let's say they had some lesser known players. Yankees fans would be upset. Why are we not spending money? Why are we not spending money? So they spend money, get flashy players who look good during the season, but then get to the playoffs and they get blown out. Because the flashy players, well, there's two situations on this. First, the flashy players get hurt, so they don't even last the whole season. But when they're in there, they put on a show. Then when they get to the World Series or the playoffs, really, they get blown out. Because while they're flashy and they can put up big numbers against average or less than average pitchers, when they go against those really really good pitchers, or when our flashy pitchers go against the really really good hitters, we get clobbered. The Yankees haven't been in the World Series in 14 years. They haven't even made it in 14 years. Yet they're making money hand over fist year after year with diehard Yankee fans who aren't going anywhere, like me. So if you look at the model of the Rays and the Orioles, they're winning with less flashy, less known players. They're building to win championships. Probably because that's how they're going to generate revenue for themselves. Because at the end of the day, the MLB and baseball is nothing but a business. But the Yankees, on the flip side of everything, they're built to hit home runs and have pitchers that throw over 100 miles an hour, players that can put on a show. The Yankees front office, year in and year out, signs players that look good but may not be available for the entire season. Take Stanton as an example. I've already mentioned him a little bit. He's a crowd pleaser when he plays, but he's hurt every year, every season. Even Aaron Judge spends a lot of time out with injuries year in and year out. I love Judge and what he does for the Yankees and what he does for baseball. But for a team that hasn't won a World Series in 14 years, having players that are injured every year doesn't help win championships. The mindset of the Yankees are built on how the mindset of how the Yankees are built has to change if we're ever going to win another World Series. I'm not even convinced that they may not win another. I'm 50. Actually, next week I'll be 50 years old, and I'm not sure the Yankees will win a World Series in my lifetime. If they continue down this road of just building for flash and for a show, they may never win a World Series again. And as a diehard Yankees fan my entire life, I find that very sad and very concerning. I'd love to hear what other people think, but I am convinced that the Yankees are not worried about winning a World Series. If they win one, great, but they will. Their dynasty's built, their brand is built, and they make billions off of it. So instead, they're building for the spectacle and putting on a show. Let me know your thoughts on what I just said about the Yankees and how they may never win a World Series again. I know that's hard to say. It might be hard to swallow, and I'm going to get some hate for it, but bring it on. Bring me the hate.